First, I told him that he wasn't welcome in my bed anymore.
Kody has officially met Christine's fiance, David.
I think it's bad timing.
And it sounds like it didn't go as well as it could have.
I don't want you to stay in my room anymore.
Which I think we all could have expected.
Man, just the knife in the kidneys over all these years.
Because Kody was seriously rude and disrespectful.
That's the reason I'm pissed off.
But not in the way you might be thinking. Kody and Christine's daughter Gwen just got married, and already the wedding has caused a lot of drama online, mainly because of Kody's strange attitude. We now know that he was actually at the wedding, but for a while, everyone thought that he wasn't because he didn't appear in any family pictures. He and Gwen also aren't on great terms right now, so him seemingly not being there just made sense. But then this one singular picture came out, and in it you could see Robyn and Kody in the background, so he was definitely there, which means that he's met David, who was also there. Unlike Kody, David actually was in some family pictures. Christine even posted this really sweet one of her, David, Gwen, and B all posing together. But the question is, how did Kody react to all this? I can imagine he was happy about David being so involved in the family, while no one wanted to talk to him. I mean, he's on terrible terms with most of his adult kids. On her Patreon, Gwen said that Mykelti was basically the only one who was happy to see him and Robyn. Some of the others apparently even attacked Kody when he arrived because they assumed he wasn't invited. And knowing Kody, he was probably really annoyed at all this. We don't really know what happened between him and David, or if they even actually interacted at the wedding, but I can't see it being anything other than awkward. The one thing we do know about the two of them meeting though, is that this apparently wasn't the first time they met. Gwen also confirmed this. Apparently, Kody actually met David before the wedding, which means that we now have confirmation that they've met at least twice. But how did the first meeting go? Was it planned in advance? Was Christine there? Were any of the kids there? And what about Robyn? I really hope we get to see this meeting on the show because I'm really curious about how Kody handled it. I feel like he probably didn't take it well. We all know he has a massive ego, and in many ways, David's kind of replacing him now, which he probably doesn't like at all. Plus, we know that pretty much everything about the situation is exactly what Kody didn't want. He literally told Christine on camera that he was worried that she was going to move to Utah and immediately find a new guy to marry, and that's pretty much exactly what happened with David. Honestly, it's probably for the best that the two of them meet before the wedding, since Kody at least didn't cause a scene just because David was there. Although he did actually kind of cause a scene for a slightly different reason. On her Patreon, Gwen admitted something insane. She said that Kody was 2 hours late to the wedding. Let that sink in. He arrived 2 hours late to his own daughter's wedding. I mean, who does that? Gwen invited him to her wedding even though they're not exactly on the best of terms right now, and he had the audacity to arrive 2 hours late? This is apparently why he's not in many of the photos. Gwen said that Robyn and Kody just weren't there in time. The most insane part about this is that the wedding wasn't even that far from their house. It was literally in Flagstaff, so it's not like they had a valid excuse for being late. I mean, Leon was there on time, and they literally live in Denver, Colorado. Honestly, this explains why some of the guests apparently thought that Kody was crashing the wedding, with him being on terrible terms with most of his kids and then arriving so late. I would probably think the same thing. Gwen also said that Kody and Robyn didn't really interact with people once they arrived. They were just kind of there. Mykelti was obviously excited to see them, but it sounds like she was the only one. Gwen said that Kody and Robyn just ended up watching Mykelti's kids after that. It doesn't sound like they joined the fun at all. I really get the feeling that Kody was just sulking in the corner, trying to make it all about himself again. But no one really paid him that much attention, which is honestly fair enough. I still can't believe he disrespected Gwen and B like that. He went to all his other kids' weddings and he wasn't late for any of those. I mean, he even went to his friend's wedding during COVID and he was on time for that too. This just makes me feel so terrible for Gwen. Her own dad couldn't be bothered to show up for the ceremony. Although I feel like she probably didn't expect him to be there anyway, because she apparently already planned to walk herself down the aisle anyway. She talked about this on her Patreon too, and said that she didn't want to have anyone else walk her down the aisle because she didn't want it to be a big thing. Basically, she made this decision to protect Kody, his ego, and his image, and he still disrespected her like that. I don't know about you guys, but I can't help but wonder if he showed up late because she didn't ask him to walk her down the aisle, like he was trying to protest. I mean, it's possible that he actually didn't show up for the ceremony because he thought it would be embarrassing. He always talks about how he won't tolerate any kind of disrespect. And I feel like he would find it disrespectful if he was there and Gwen didn't let him walk her down the aisle. One person on Reddit also theorized that Kody and Robyn didn't actually show up for Gwen at all. They said that maybe it was Mykelti that they came to see. This would honestly make a lot of sense since they ended up watching her kids anyway. It's possible that she just called them after the ceremony and asked them to come and help with her babies. Maybe they weren't going to come at all, but they didn't want to refuse Mykelti's request. Honestly, for Gwen's sake, I'd hope that's not true, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if it was, which would be even sadder because Gwen clearly tried to accommodate them and be nice to them. She apparently even hugged Robyn when they arrived because she wanted to extend an olive branch. I'm not sure if they deserve this, seeing as they completely disrespected her by showing up so late, but I get why she did this. She probably just wanted to enjoy her wedding without any family drama for once. I also saw this theory online about Kody and David. This one was about what might happen at any future weddings. Someone suggested that if Truly gets married one day, she might actually ask David to walk her down the aisle instead of Kody. And I can definitely see this. For one, Kody's barely in any of the kids' lives now, and Truly obviously saw how he behaved at Gwen's wedding. But there's more to it than that, because if you look at some of the photos of Truly and David together that Christine posted, you can clearly see that she's actually comfortable around him. It looks like they have a good relationship, and he's probably already been much more of a stable father figure than Kody's been in years. So who's to say that in a couple of years' time, she won't decide that David should be the one to give her away? I mean, she could also ask someone like Hunter since they've always been close, but either way, I feel like from now on, Kody will start getting even more excluded from big family events like weddings, because after what he and Robyn pulled at Gwen's wedding, I don't see why any of their kids would even bother inviting him. So he might not come anyway. But what do you guys think? What do you think about Kody being 2 hours late to Gwen's wedding? And how do you think Kody and David's first meeting went? Let me know in the comments below.